this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. Why do we prep? First off, if you guys like the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, comment below. I'm going to talk to you guys while I'm doing some watering in the garden. So hopefully it doesn't interfere with the sound too much. But actually here, there we go, that won't interfere with the sound as much. Yeah, please, and check us out on Patreon. We do a lot of good things there. It's pennies a day. Yeah, a lot of exclusive content there. Talk a lot more, I do good gardening stuff there, but also tactics and stuff. Tactical stuff, tactical gear, some different things like that. So check it out if you guys want to. I'm very blessed by all my patrons. You guys rock. And all subscribers here. You guys are awesome. Yeah, so I'm just out here doing things, that section there already watered. That's watermelons. And the sections behind me are all potatoes that I got. This section I'm watering here is just potatoes and stuff. So why do we prep? I think it's a lot more. It's a lot more obvious now. It's almost painfully obvious now why we prep. For times like now, food shortages in grocery stores. Not as many things on the shelves. Also, if you're sheltered in place, like I have been for about 3 weeks now. I don't have to go to the grocery store, going out, get wife's meds, stuff like that. We went to the store once, and that was just to get, some nice things, milk, cheese, stuff like that, things that we can't make ourselves. So it enables you to do that. But the biggest thing about prepping to me is peace of mind. I always say prep out of peace of mind, not out of fear. And that's what prepping is to me. It's just like investing. I don't invest money in the stock market or mutual funds or real estate or whatever you invest in. I don't do it. We don't do it because we're scared of the future. We do it because we want to have a good future. We want to thrive, not just survive. That's another term that preppers use. So yeah, in SHTF, people talk about stuff hitting the fan, or WROL, without rule of law. WROL, without rule of law, is totally different. That's like complete and utter collapse of society, economic collapse, EMP type stuff. But SHTF, we're in an SHTF right now. Stuff hitting the fan because our world has changed. Some people are losing their jobs. Some people lost their businesses. Some people are shelter in place. There's a lot of different situations that are out there right now. But SHTF could just be you losing your job or getting injured on the job and being, not able to work. Maybe going without pay or reduced pay or something that puts your family at risk. You and your family or your family. If you're a prepper, if you're prepared and you have food storage and stuff, then you're going to eat. Okay? Bills, that may be a different issue. That's part of financial preparedness, which I don't really talk about that much here. But that's an important aspect, financial preparedness. As well as food storage and all the beans, bullets, Band-Aids, all that stuff, and a way to protect what you have. Because as people saw in Hurricane Katrina, there's a lot of looting and stuff like that. There's a lot of violence and a lot of problems that came from that, and could come if grocery stores start getting shortages, or or things spiral out of control with this virus, what's going on now. So that's one reason. That's one reason why we prep, is so we can eat. And like I said, SHTF, stuff hitting the fan, an event, it may be personal, it may be local, it may be a big earthquake in your area, it may be a hurricane, like Katrina or something like that, where it's still a big deal. I'm not saying it's not a big deal, but it could be personal, it could be local, it could be national, or it could be worldwide. So yeah, that's why we prepare. It's peace of mind. That's why I'm out here gardening and doing all this stuff, so I can produce my own calories. Because I don't want to have to rely on a food supply network that may or may not be there always. Yeah, it's self-reliance and self-sufficiency is very important to me. I want to be as self-sufficient and self-reliant as possible. I want to be able to produce as much of my own calories as I possibly can. So I don't have to rely on others. Because how do you control people? You control people via food and or water. It's an easy way to control people because people have to eat, people have to drink. So it's an easy way to control a population, and I don't want to be controlled by anybody. And I'm not saying I'm like scared of being controlled. I'm not a big conspiracy theorist. I know that yes, conspiracies exist. Shush. That's my lab saying hi. I guess she wanted to be on video. Yes, conspiracy exists. Of course they do. But everything isn't a conspiracy. So, is there more to this, what's going on right now? Maybe. Like a lot of politicians, a lot of political people always say, don't let a good crisis go to waste. So, could there be more sinister stuff behind this? Maybe. But the better prepared you are to deal with any eventuality, then the better off you are. It's plain and simple. It's what our ancestors used to do all the time. Like my grandparents, they always had a root cellar, basement, whatever, with a bunch of canned goods in there from their garden, canned meats and stuff like that from the chickens they raised or whatever it was. It was just a way of life. And my grandparents lived through the Great Depression, so they've been there, done that. I think they're pretty young, they were really young. But there's a lot of lessons learned from that time frame. The whole Victory Garden thing during World War II, encouraging everybody to have their own gardens, to produce their own inputs, so that the supply chain can supply the war effort and stuff like that. That same concept, same idea. Being as independent from the system as possible, I don't know who wouldn't like that idea. I mean, people, knock, I get troll comments on here and stuff like that about, I'm just playing, I'm making things that their kids would make and stuff like that, like my raised beds and stuff like that. Well, my kid could make a better one than that. Yeah, they probably could. But you know what? I didn't spend any money on them. I built them with logs and old lumber and stuff like that I just have laying around and some screws. So I'm making use of what I have because I'm not going out. We're social distancing and we're shelter in place. So I'm not going out and buying everything now. So I'm making do with what I got. Is it going to work? Yes. It's going to work just fine. Is it pretty? No. Some people don't think it's pretty. I think my pallet board raised bed is pretty cool though. I like it. My log raised beds, I think they're pretty cool. It's kind of like a little log house, But then again, some people think log cabins are ugly. I think they're awesome. So, that's part of preparedness also, is having kind of that skill set where you can make do with what you have. You have like the old show MacGyver back in I think the 80s. He used to just make stuff out of nothing. He'd make whatever out of some duct tape and bubble gum or something. It may not be pretty, but it'll work. And that's homesteaders get it. I know that. People that are into homesteading and living off grid and stuff like that, living really rural, really remote, they get making things like I'm making. But it's part of making do with what you have and having those skill set to come up with stuff, some different ideas. Okay, how do I build a raised bed out of what I'm looking at, out of my materials here, and then coming up with an idea and implementing it and doing. I'm out here doing the things. I'm not just talking about it. I'm not just a blowhard out here, saying, oh, you guys got to do this, or you got to go to my store and buy this, or you're gonna die. No. I mean, yeah. While I'm talking store, I have an Amazon storefront. Link is in the description. A lot of good stuff there that I trust, I use, I have used, I've owned, I own now, whatever it may be. I don't put junk in there. What's in there is good stuff. So if you're interested in anything, or take a look, or just want to go take a look, whatever. Or if you don't even care about any of that stuff and just want to help out the channel, go to Amazon via that link. Order whatever you want. Order your normal groceries. I don't care. Order whatever you want. We get a little cut in it. Doesn't cost you any more. So if you want to do that, help out the channel, that'd be sweet. I'd really appreciate it. But other than that, just get out and do the things. Garden, produce your own inputs. Prep a little every day. I say that all the time. Work on your fitness. Preparedness is such a broad topic. It is a ginormous topic because there's so much that goes along with it. Just fitness, okay? Physical fitness, mental fitness, spiritual fitness, all this stuff. And same with preparedness. You got physical preparedness, which goes along with the things and your body. And then you have mental preparedness, which is your mind, having a strong mindset and a sharp mind. And then spiritual preparedness, being right with Him and knowing, what you're doing is good, being a good moral person. I believe that's important. If we want to be part of the solution, not the problem, as preppers, we need to be a moral people. We don't have the attitude that we just have a bunch of guns and tactical gear and we're going to go take from those that have. No, that's not right. That's not okay. Now, I would do whatever I had to do to take care of my family. Of course I would. But that's why we prep, so we don't have to go out and put ourselves at risk and at danger. Because I don't care how good you are, I don't care how bad you are, the bad guy or somebody else could still get lucky. That's how, special operations troops in Afghanistan get killed by, some little mountain farmer with an old rusty Mosin Nagant, and they get the jump on them and they just get lucky. It's just, it doesn't matter how bad you are. Somebody else can still get lucky and take you out. So don't do things that will put you at risk. Don't have plans that will put you at risk. Have plans that will allow you to thrive yourself and do your own thing. Have your group. That's another thing about preparedness, is a group. You can't do everything by yourself. Hey, shush. She wants in. And I'm not ready to take you in yet. Yeah, a group, okay. You can't do everything yourself, especially like security-wise. You can't stand guard duty 24 hours a day by yourself, especially if you're going to do 4-point security. Basically you got an object, like your camp here. You want to have security at least 4 points around it, because that's effective, fairly effective. You could have more points than that, of course, would be better. You can establish overlapping fields of fire with 4-point. You can do lots of different things. I'm a security guy, so that's kind of, I like that stuff. But that's part of preparedness. If you don't have a team, a group, a MAG, we use the term mutual assistance group. Some people call it a tribe. Some people call it a crew. Whatever you want to call it, your group, your team. If you don't have a group of like-minded good people, then you will not be able to do the things. You will not be able to provide security, proper security. Also, division of labor is important in an SHTF or WRL scenario, because you can't just have the gunslinger types run around, doing that stuff, because there's supposed to be gardening to do, like I'm doing now. There still has to be, food still has to be cooked, clothes still have to be washed, equipment has to be maintained and repaired. All scouting still has to be done. Food, production needs to be done. Hunting needs to be done. Trapping, snaring, all the stuff. Communications, scouting areas. There's just so many things that you need to do. And I'm talking, this is more like a complete without rule of law situation, where it's like, basically the world is over as we know it. That's one of those things that you got to have a group, because division of labor is going to be important. Even if you're, sheltered in place like we are right now, there's still division of labor. I'm out here doing the stuff outside. One thing is, my wife has lupus, so it's a very photosensitive disease, so she can't be out in the sun. They think that's where the whole thing about vampires came from, is from people that had lupus. So she can't be out here doing the things. So she does the stuff in the house. I do the stuff outside. And that's a good division of labor, and it's what works for us, and it's not a man-woman thing. I believe that men and women each have their own place. We have unique abilities and skill sets. We're a mutual team. That's what I feel a good marriage is. I'm not better than her. She's not better than me. We're an equal team that's built on mutual respect, and that's what a group needs to be built off of also. If you don't have mutual respect and people that are good working together, and it's not about power, it's not about control, it's not about who's better than anybody else. It's just about being the best you can. And I know, I'm sorry, this is kind of like a just random continuation of it's not really about what is prepper, what is preparedness, why do we prepare, but a lot of this it's relevant to what I'm talking about. I'm going to adjust this a little bit. I'm going to adjust it right there. it's just, there's so much preparedness that's one reason why, like, people talk about, like, oh, don't you think you're ever going to run out of content to film videos on? Well, as a prepper, no. There's so many different things that it entails. Wilderness survival, bushcraft, identifying wild medicinals and wild edibles, hunting, trapping, snaring, scouting, patrolling, military aspects, combative type stuff, um, canning, food production, like you see me doing here, gardening, animal husbandry, taking care of your animals, providing your own inputs, stuff like that. Welding, communications. There's so many different things, so many different skills to learn. That's another reason why you can't do it alone. If you don't have a group of people with varied skill sets, then you're just not going to do very well. You can still do the best you can. I'm not trying to make people that don't have a group feel bad or anything like that. You can still do fairly well. You can still do your best, of course. And the better off you are, the more skills you learn, then the better off you will be. But I hope this is me advocating for you to get a group. I know it's much tougher now because the social distancing and not being able to meet up in person and stuff like that, especially meet complete strangers. But I hope that some of you guys have taken this seriously and started this whole process prior to now, because there is so much to it. And I mean, there's so many things as preppers. Why do we prep? So we can't be taken advantage of. We can't be controlled. That's one of the biggest things. Freedom, I guess, is what it comes down to it, basically. Freedom. And taking care of your family and your loved ones and providing for you and yourself, your family, whatever, others around you, your community. Taking care of others is a big part of it. And the freedom to be able to live how you want to without being controlled by somebody, whoever controls the food and the water and stuff like that. So it's about freedom. It's about a lot of things. So I hope this helps you guys. I hope it motivates you guys to do some things, increase your skill sets, do a little every day. Don't get down if you're not super prepper. I'm not super prepper. I learn a lot every day. I'm learning a lot more about gardening every day. I'm implementing different security measures and stuff like that, just in case, crime is on the rise, that's a fact, just in case things get worse. So, but the thing is get off the couch, get out from behind the computer and do. That's part of the big things. Do the things. So, but please still watch my videos. Yeah, seriously. I love you guys, and I hope you do the best you can. I hope you stay safe. I hope that you are all healthy and remain healthy, and are just happy and stay positive. I love you guys, and blessings to you and yours.